Hey everybody, welcome to Love and Reload, the voice of the relocation industry. I am your host, Ben Cross, and I'm so blessed and honored to be here with two friends today. We've got Moshe Turk from Team Lifeline. What's up, Moshe? How you doing?
Hey, Ben.
And our good friend who you know, friend of the show, friend of Glomo here, Danny Herskowitz. How you doing, buddy?
Good. How are you, Ben?
I'm great, man. It's good to have you guys here. And we're going to be talking about some really cool stuff today. And I'm really excited about it. Anytime we have an opportunity to do good in the world and make a positive impact, it gets me excited, it gets me jazzed. So here we are on this Thursday, and we get to welcome the community in and see what's going on. Danny is going to be running a half marathon soon, and I'm super pumped about this. And I got to hear about this because that's kind of like one of those, bucket list things for me. It might stay in the bucket for a little while. But we're going to talk about what's going into that, what's possessed you to even attempt such a feat. And you have my utmost respect. If you're watching right now, do me a favor, hit that like button, get in the comments. I want to know, what have you done? What have you done to raise money for charity? What's one of the craziest things you've done, or something you're proud of, or a time that you did something on a team effort or individual basis to raise money for charity? I'd love to know. Let's get everybody to know we're a community of givers out there. So get active in the comments there. Hit that like button. I want to know who you are, where you are. Check in with us right now. Real quick, Moshe, where in the world are you right now?
I'm in New York, New Rochelle, Westchester.
New Row. I grew up in White Plains.
How about that? Right next stop on the train.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. We would play you on basketball and everything, and a good little rivalry there. That's fantastic. I didn't know you were in New Rochelle. Look at this. This is fantastic.
Yeah.
Danny,
I got to tell you a great story for people that think, Danny, this guy's crazy. He's so committed to a charity. He's running a marathon. So one of Danny's teammates, a guy by the name of Gabriel Prero, he's been running with us for a bunch of years, is a fundraiser in his office. He had a big crazy beard. And he told everyone if he gets to 10,000, I'm literally down to here. He said if he gets to 10,000, he's shaving it off, and everyone in the office wants the beard. So I'm gonna try to pick and send it to you. It's a big one.
Is he shaving? Is it going to happen? Is he going to?
It's going to happen. He's getting there. It's going to happen.
Oh my gosh, this is great. This is what I'm talking about. I grew a crazy mustache for Movember. We raised, I think, $16,000 or something like that for Movember for Men's Health. So we're going to hear about Team Lifeline, High Lifeline, what's going on. Real quick, let's check in with everybody out there. Who's out there? Leave it in the comments. Hit that like button right now. We got a bunch of people on LinkedIn. That's fantastic. Throw a little love out there to our friends in Jersey and New York here. Stacy Huff, hi everyone. Excited to learn more about the cause Danny is running to support. Me too. I can't wait. Carlene Tisdale, hello from Houston. Excited to learn more. What's up, Carlene? Good to see you. Thanks for support. Dano, happy New Year, gentlemen. Oh, this is great. We're going to throw it in the comments too, Stacy. All right, Stacy's going to throw the link in the comments as well. Johnny Shazanowski, our Rio de Janeiro in the house. Hey, everyone, so proud and happy to see this happening. Jana, maybe next year you might be running with Danny.
Bring it on, Jana.
Well, Jana said she's going to be doing the marathon on her own, so.
Just in spirit, just like down in Rio.
That's what.
Nice. I love it. Elena, I'm so excited to tune in. Greetings from Maryland. What's up, Elena? Good to see you. Kim Krollman, hi there. Greetings from Phoenix. Hit that like button right now. Throw your questions, comments in there. I'd love to hear what you're doing out there to support your favorite charity. We've got a link here. Yes, hit this link right here. So if you want to support Danny, we're going to talk about what the charity is and how it works. But this link right here, we're going to keep putting this in the comments here. Help to support the cause. Donate now. It's down there. It's teamlifeline.org/a lot of stuff. And go hit that right there. Isaac's checking in. Go, Danny.
Thanks, Isaac. Yes. My brother-in-law.
Look at this.
My mother-in-law. Thank you guys for coming.
Keeping the family here. Nice.
Yeah, keeping the family. Yeah.
It's fantastic. Danny, I want to hear from you since you're my friend, my coworker, and you're the one who told me about this. I want to know why did you want to get involved?
So David Spankenthal is on the show right now. I just saw, and his wife Jenny Spankenthal are the parents of somebody named Sophie, and Sophie was their daughter, a really special person, and we actually, pretty much my kids grew up with her daughter. My son and daughter grew up together as babies, and we met Jenny and David when we first moved to our community here in Fairlawn about 10 years ago. And Sophie was amazing, and unfortunately, she was diagnosed with a very rare form of cancer. And in honor of her, and we decided to run this race. Now, the reason we did that was because Jenny and David and Sophie were involved in High Lifeline. And before Team Lifeline, before that happened. And while they were going through this, firstly, I saw what High Lifeline had done for Jenny and David and Sophie. The support that they provided to her was incredible. And I know, Moshe, you can talk a lot more about the details on this, but there were so many things that I witnessed in terms of just the meals and the support, and also the Camp Simcha, which really made a big impact on me, which is where Sophie went. And I'm sure you'll talk more about that, Moshe. And basically, we were all running for Sophie in support of her for Team Lifeline. And it was something that I had to do, even though I couldn't imagine doing a marathon. When it was David and Jenny and Sophie, I said, yeah, I've got to do it. Especially because I saw all the amazing things that they did. And I had, as kind of a separate side connection, a personal one, where my parents had passed away from cancer. Both my parents passed away when they were 50 years old. Each of them, I was 19 when my father passed away and 23 when my mother passed away, both of cancer. And one of the things that I experienced was my community in Long Island, Plainview, Long Island, where I grew up, was really incredible in providing support to us while we were going through this. Food, everything, just really being there to help us with everything we needed. And I really connected with that, just from my own personal experience, and of course with Sophie. And I just felt compelled to do it. And then I did it in 2000, I think it was 18. And then Moshe spoke again. We didn't do it last year because of COVID. And then Moshe spoke at my friend's house to get people to join the Team Lifeline again for Sophie. And I said last time I would never do a marathon again.
It's true.
I said I would be happy to donate and fundraise, but I said that was pretty intense. But Moshe convinced me. He spoke at our friend's house, and
for the record, Ben, that night, Danny did say, he's like, I think I'm going to be in town. I can come. I can't do the race. So he did come far away from that night, because when I saw him that evening, he was a no-go.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Danny, thank you so much for sharing this powerful story. And I know it's not easy to talk about, but I appreciate you sharing your story and your truth. And thank you so much for that. And thanks everyone out there for being here today. Hit that heart button right now if you feel the way I feel right now about that story. I want to ask you, Moshe, tell us a little bit about High Lifeline and Team Lifeline for people who haven't heard of the organization before.
Right. So High Lifeline is a social service organization, support services to families that have a child with cancer or other life-threatening illness. I think Danny really hit the nail on the head. We just talked about his own personal situation, his family, and the community coming together. When you go through a tragedy like this, losing a parent, a sick child, losing a child, your world is just turned upside down. Nothing is important. There is nothing that needs to get done. There's nothing you need to go. You're not worried about carpools. You're not worried about homework with other siblings, other kids in the house. It's just all you're focused on is putting all of your mental and physical strength and energy into getting the family through this journey. And that's what High Lifeline looks to do. And that's what Danny was talking about. Danny saw High Lifeline from the perspective of looking at his friends dealing with a sick child and going through this horrible, horrible journey, and seeing that in addition to the community coming together, an organization coming in and saying, how can we help? What can we do? Sometimes a family needs a ride to the hospital, or a meal dropped off, or respite, or just whatever it is in any way, shape, or form. An organization to come in and say, we're here to help get you through this, because your focus, your strength is just on making sure your child is is comfortable and with you and supported by you, we're here to take care of everything else. That's really the goal of High Lifeline. And we'll talk more about it, but the nutshell is Team Lifeline was a endurance training program that was started to help raise funds for High Lifeline.
Okay, so High Lifeline is the social services organization that supports the families, and Team Lifeline is really the event and the vehicle that gets the funds to support the families, is what I'm hearing.
Exactly.
Okay.
And one small piece of it, it's a very large organization. We've got multiple fundraisers throughout the year. This is one specific campaign. It's the marathon program, but obviously there are a bunch of other ways that people participate and support the cause throughout the year. This is one component of it. And again, correct. Team Lifeline is a fundraiser for the social services of High Lifeline.
Okay, this is awesome. I want to hear more about this actual event that's coming up next and all the other events that you do. We've got people checking in here. Eliza Lickman checking in. Way to go, bro. That's cool.
Yep.
Awesome. Look at this. Jana, go, Danny. So proud of you. We're all proud of you, Danny. Thank you so much for bringing this to our attention and give us an opportunity to support Danny. I'll say honestly, as Glomo, as the CEO of the company that we work with, that we work for, we've talked about this. And we've talked about how important it is to support things that are near and dear to our heart, and so what we're going to do, one of the big kind of announcements that we're going to make, one of the pledges that we're going to make is we're going to donate 10% of our talent revenues from our recruiting business that Danny works in for the month of January to support Team Sophie. And so that's something that Danny and I talked about.
Awesome.
Yeah, and so if anybody out there wants to support through that, if you're hiring people and we can support you on that, please let us know. And we will be donating 10% of our fees for the month of January to support Team Sophie and raise as much money as we can. Jack Jampel, good evening, gentlemen.
So yeah, it is tremendously generous. Tremendous.
Whatever we can do, whatever we can do.
Thank you, brother.
Jack Jampel, good evening, gentlemen. What's up, Jack? Jack in Jersey. Kerry Takamatsu in Tampa. Now, where's this race going to be held?
We're in Miami. Kerry, come cheer us on. Miami Marathon, downtown Miami. We want to see you.
That sounds fun. Now, see, if I went to Miami, I don't think I'd be in any shape to run. Not that I'm in any shape to run now.
Good. Well, we'll give you the year off for 2022, but we're working on you for 2023, Ben. Get ready. We get February 2023. We're going to get you laced up, my man.
Oh my gosh, I might need that kind of runway, actually. Well, tell me. Okay, let's talk about the event. Tell me about the event. What's Danny in for here?
Well, the good news is he knows what he's in for because he did it already and he accomplished it. It's look, it's a race like any other race, right? There are people all over the country, all over the world that train, lace up, put in the hard work, put in the training, put in the miles, and they have to get to the finish line. The difference is the passion, the cause, and that's what gets a guy like Danny or anyone else of the 400 people on Team Lifeline across the finish line. Is you're part of this team, you're part of this energy. If you stand at the finish line of the Miami Marathon, every 30 seconds there's a Team Lifeline jersey crossing the finish line, which that's an awesome thing to be a part of because usually you're on the course with thousands of people in any of these races you run. You don't know anybody though. Can you imagine, Ben, the entire 13.1 miles, however long or short you're out there, everywhere along the way, people are giving you go Team Lifeline, go Team Lifeline. You've got your team surrounding you all over the course. It's an unbelievable experience and just tremendous energy.
So how many people participate in these Team Lifeline events?
So the Team Lifeline Miami Marathon this year is over 400 runners. Which we're the largest charity team on the course. The biggest, the race itself this year, the Miami Marathon is typically about 25,000 runners. They did scale back for COVID this year to 15,000, and the race is already sold out. So we get 400. We're a pretty big percentage of it, and definitely the largest charity on the team. Well,
good news is Carrie's going to come down to Miami now to support. Carrie, good news is the race is closed, so you won't get to run, but you can definitely come down, and you can definitely donate to support as well. Where's that link right now? Can we throw that link up there? Let's see here. Stacy put the link there. Hit this link right here if you're interested in donating. How can people donate? Is there a certain amount that you're looking for? What kind of donations are you looking for?
Donations come in all shapes and sizes, just like our runners. Danny's done an amazing job. If you go to his page, he's already over the $5,000 mark, which is just tremendous. I mean, this guy has raised a boatload of money. And you look at his page, you'll see all the names on there. You see all the dollar amounts. There's full transparency. You've got people giving $10 and you've got people giving $100, and no donation is too small or too large, and anywhere in between. People really give at all amounts and all levels.
So Danny, tell me about your goal process and where you're at now.
So, I had a lot of support from family and friends, which was great. A lot of actually friends from the community that I grew up in, Plainview, Long Island. They did a great job in fundraising. A lot of my friends here locally, and then as well, some people from the global mobility community contributed as well, which was great to see, which is awesome.
I'm on the page right now. I'm gonna make a donation myself right now, just to kind of kick things off here. So what was your original goal, and where are you at now, Danny, and what's your new goal?
So we're at 5,000, which was the initial goal, which is where we are, and 10,000 is the new goal.
Okay. All right. So let me see here. So I'm donating for a participant. I'm on here now. I choose my participant, Danny Herskowitz. So this link right here automatically takes me to your page, and I'm putting that in there, and I'm gonna put in.
Right. And that's also a good point, Ben. You could, for someone who can't remember the 700 characters of the URL, you could go to teamlifeline.org, TEAMLIFELINE, teamlifeline.org. And then you could do sponsor, and you could search by participant. So yeah, you could type in Danny's name and get to his page even by going to the general homepage of Team Lifeline.
All right, I'm doing this now as we speak here. I encourage everybody who's watching this right now, if you feel moved, you don't have to, but if you feel moved like I do, go ahead and put in a donation. And let's see if we can't juice it a little bit right now. I know we're going to be raising money all month long for this, and hopefully our business can also contribute as well. Looking forward to that. So I'm putting my little card information in here. This is,
Ben, when your credit card is not up on the screen, you can do a share screen, and people will be able to see that picture of Sophie on the top of Danny's page. And there's no one who could look at the picture of that sweet little girl and not want to be a part of this.
There it went. It went through. Donate. Okay, very cool. Yeah, I'm looking at Sophie now. Actually, just gonna take a moment. Wow. It really gets real. And there's real people, involved, and oh, very cool. Very cool. Let's see here. We got people cheering you on. Run, Danny, run. This is great. Jessica Pearson, good for you. Race for Sophie for sure.
Thanks, Jesse.
Oh, that's so super cool. That's awesome here. Let's see here. Going from Paul. Look at this. Very nice. Very nice. There you go. Elizabeth, yes, checking in for Stanford. Elizabeth, go in there and donate if you feel moved to. Wow, kudos going on. Thank you, David. Appreciate it.
Thanks, David.
Got a good friend in Danny. David is a big advocate. Jessica Pearson, generous offer. Yeah, anything we can do. I find that do you partner with companies a lot, Moshe, to make big impacts? I find that's the best way to do it personally.
Absolutely. There are a lot of companies that have rallied, tremendous support. If you also on the Team Lifeline site, you'll see a bunch of corporate sponsors are listed. And it's great when people get their companies and whether it's people in the company or executives giving money, rallying people, creating a team. It is amazing to see people and companies get involved.
Our producer, Stacy, actually uploaded a picture of Sophie here as well. So I'm just going to show that real quick. There's Sophie. Very cool. Let's take a moment to just remember her.
Yeah, I want to tell you something amazing about Sophie is so many people. I mean, like Danny grew up, or not grew up, but he raised his family in the same community that the Spankenthals live. So they really knew Sophie at various stages of life. I really only came to know Sophie once she was sick. And when you look at a picture like that with that smile on her face, that's the only way that I remember Sophie is. And that's the amazing thing is that I only knew this little girl as a sick child. And that was the infectious smile that she had. And that's one of the things that I'm not saying High Lifeline takes all the credit for that. Her family and the love and the support that she had, and just the type of child that she was, and the inner strength and the personality that she had. But that's, that's what Team Lifeline is about, or High Lifeline is all about, is being able to keep children that are going through such a difficult journey like that, to keep that smile strong. And there are a lot of difficult days. It's not easy. These kids go through hell that you and I should never know from. But to be able to give a child a boost like that, and something to look forward to, and something to smile about, is amazing. So and it takes a village. It's the family, it's the friends, it's the community, it's organizations like High Lifeline, and a bunch of other organizations that do these types of things. But if you look at a child like that, know about what they're going through, and you can be a part of putting that smile on a sick child's face, it is an unbelievable gift to give somebody.
Thank you, Moshe. Appreciate that. And we got people checking in here. Katie Linehan checking in from Middletown, Connecticut. What's up, Katie? It's good to see you.
Katie.
Hope you can donate. LinkedIn users checking in, just donated. Awesome. Very good. Love it.
Thank you.
Carrie says it's probably best I'm too late to register. I'll be crawling across the finish line. Yeah, very cool. Let's see here. Stacy. Yeah, Elizabeth checking in. Stacy put the link back in there, so the link is at the bottom. Should be close to the bottom. Very cool. Danny, you mentioned a Camp Simcha, I think it was.
Yeah, I mean, Moshe, I think that would be the best thing for you to talk about. But yeah, I've through the years have seen what they've done, and specifically with Sophie. So yeah, Moshe, I'd love to hear if you can talk about that.
I will take you back, Ben, to the time when I had hair, because when I was 19 years old, that was how I got involved in the organization. I was actually a counselor at Camp Simcha.
Oh, wow.
Way back when. I'm 22 now, but just kidding, buddy.
I wasn't going to say that, man. Hey, I wasn't going to say anything,
Yeah, so that was actually how I got involved in the organization. I was a counselor at Camp Simcha. It was a much smaller organization then. I'm pretty sure it was about 7 years old the first summer that I was a counselor. And it was in the same campgrounds in Glen Spey, New York. There were 100 kids there, and it was a one-session summer camp for 3 weeks for children with cancer. And it was literally those 100 kids. They would have the session, and then that was the end of it. Now today, Camp Simcha runs 4 sessions all summer long. So it's going from 2-week session to 2-week session. The camp is open all summer and accommodating up to 500 kids throughout the entire season. So it's really, really.
And what's the purpose of the camp? Give me an idea of the vibe. What's the purpose there?
Yeah. So the vibe is really basically to give children that are going through a difficult illness a real summer camp experience. So, where every camp might have a camp nurse or a camp doctor, it was overnight or a day camp. These camps aren't able to administer chemotherapy at the camp. So Camp Simcha is a camp for, we've got 2 sessions, Camp Simcha and Camp Simcha Special. Camp Simcha is a camp for children with cancer and other life-threatening illnesses. And when you've got a full medical team up there, they're literally pediatric oncologists that are taking time out of the hospitals that they're working at to staff this camp. So you've got pediatric oncologists and pediatric oncology nurses, a full medical team, pharmacists on camp. And these kids are basically able to get literally the care that they are getting at home or at the hospital from the Camp Simcha medical team. Combine that together with just super high energy, amazing counselors. The staff is 1-to-1 camper counselor ratio. And every camper there has their own counselor. And
wow.
It's an amazing bond, and it's an amazing experience for the camper and for the counselor. And through that, basically, are able to create a personalized program for that child every day, and throughout the entire summer session or camp session. And it's really just it's about sending these kids to camp and giving them, as I said, a real summer camp experience. A lot of these kids would otherwise be sitting home or in a hospital, not able to go to camp. And here they are. They're going swimming. They've got, arts and crafts, wood shop, zip lining, you name it. We've got a lake. Kids are going on the paddle boats, on the speedboat. It is just an unbelievable.
So it's just like a camp, but because there's an additional, the additional counselor ratio and the additional services for chemo and other things, you can bring that real camp experience is what you're saying.
It really is what it is it's really a hospital camouflage as a camp. That's really what's going on. I mean, it's a full service, when we say the infirmary at Camp Simcha, it's essentially a hospital. There are kids that do have to stay in the infirmary overnight. They're not able to be in the bunk. And that's staffed, of course, by full-time, nurses 24/7. But even the kids that are in the bunks, doctors and nurses are going to the bunk to see the kids. And again, it's under, full-time medical care for these kids.
And how is that funded?
It's all funded by people like Danny. Literally, it's a $30 million budget, all funded by private donor and just generous, charitable people giving from their heart and saying, I want to be a part of this. And the ability to, as I said, put a smile on a sick child's face and send a sick child to summer camp. What would somebody not want to be a part of about that?
Wow.
And then people have a personal connection. Take someone like Danny. Yeah. He says, I have to do something. I'm not a natural runner. This is out of my comfort zone, but I'm going to lace up and I'm going to do this. I have to make a difference. And look at, a regular guy like you and me, Ben, this guy from Fair Lawn, New Jersey, Danny Herskowitz, laces up and raises thousands and thousands of dollars for a cause like this. And it's not the first time he's done it. So really kudos to you, Danny. Thank you so much for being a part of this.
No, thank you.
It's just amazing to see people support it at that level.
Hit that like button right now. Let's send Danny a little support right now. I mean, we appreciate Danny so much. I'm smashing that applause button right now for you, Danny. I'm really proud of you, man.
Thank you.
Thank you for doing this.
Yeah, and just for me personally, I mean, Jana, my colleague, and Ben have been so supportive of since the day I mentioned this to them. They said we got to get behind it, and it's been amazing to have their support. So the support from Glomo as well. So
Jana's over here donated, and we'll be running with you from Brazil. Jana. Awesome. This is great. Jana donated. Thank you so much, Jana. Raina and Paul donated.
Thanks.
Very cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Look at that. Esther, what's up, Esther? Esther Camp somehow was the highlight for Sophie, is what kept her going at the end. She dies right after she went to camp. Yeah. Wow. I bet that was a special moment for her. Thank you for sharing that. It's heavy stuff, but it's real, right? I mean, this is really happening to real people and real people's kids.
It is heavy and it is real. It is, like what Esther just said, really towards the end of Sophie's life, she, mustered up the strength to get to camp. And she counted down from the first summer she was at camp to the second and her final summer. She was determined to get there. And she was in a very, difficult period. And camp was coming closer. And she fought and wanted to go. And her amazing parents, David and Jenny, supported her and wanted her to be there because they knew it was her happy place. And she fought and just, as I said, mustered up all the strength that she had to get to camp. She was there for the entire session. And she came home and she passed away a few days later.
Please go ahead and join me in donating right now. If you're watching this right now and you can give anything at all, we do appreciate it. Hit that link there that I know we put down there. There you go. There it is. Click it. It's in the comments. So scroll until you find it. Whatever you can give, it's appreciated. Please join us there. How else can people get involved, Moshe? What can people get a team together? I mean, what can they do looking forward into the future?
Absolutely. I can tell you two great stories about making a difference. But yeah, I mean, talk about putting teams together. So Team Sophie was started by Sophie's family. David and Jen ran the first year, or I think Jen cheered and David ran. But love you, Jen. It's okay. And that was how Team Sophie started, because again, the Spankenthal's involvement in High Lifeline and then wanting to give back and saying this is an amazing organization and has had an impact on our family and on Sophie, and we want to do something for them. And that was how the team started. And then, once David says, hey, we're doing this, people like Danny are like, well, we love the Spankenthals and we've seen what an amazing organization this is. We want to be a part of it. So that is how people rally support. And we've got also, if you look at the Team Lifeline site, you'll see a bunch of teams on there. And they get started by either different communities, different people, as we said, different companies. So that is great. People can register as an individual, or people could, put together a team. There's an amazing story also about one of the teams that started, and the girl who started it, the woman who started it, is coming back to run with us for the first time in a bunch of years. There's a team called Team Cara that's part of Team Lifeline, and Team Cara was started by this young woman, Shoshana Sprague. And Shoshana Cara is a girl that was sick with an illness, lived in Chicago, and Shoshana lived in her community. And as I said, people want to do something. They want to rally support. They want to make a difference. They see a family or a friend going through something difficult. They want to show their love and their support. So Shoshana comes up with this idea. This is going back like 15 years, Ben. Shoshana comes up with this idea. I'm going to run the marathon for High Lifeline because I know that High Lifeline has been involved in Cara's life and her family's life, and I want to, rally the cause. So Shoshana does this race, and then she has the idea, like, why should I do this alone? Let's get a team. And then that next year, Team Cara started. And Team Cara is coming back this year. I think it's 13 or 14 years later. This team has raised over $600,000 for Team Lifeline and High Lifeline. And it all started because of one person, because of Shoshana Sprague. Shoshana got married a couple years ago, had a bunch of kids, and so she was, not able to make it to marathons, but she's coming back with her family this year, and I'm just so super excited about it.
Wow!
But really, the power of one. Think about the difference people can make. And she had this idea, ran with it, and Team Cara has been strong since. And it is. I'm really looking forward to seeing Shoshana back.
Man, that gives me chills. It's such an inspiring story, and I love what you just said there, the power of one, because I think that there's so much power in one. I think that we think as individuals, we don't have power because we're just one person. What is just one person and what can we do, right? But one person asks a person, asks a person, asks a person, all of a sudden you have a team, right? And I mean, just look at, we are, three one persons, having a conversation right now, and other people, individuals are watching. And if each one of us makes one decision, we can influence other people's decisions, and we can all of a sudden have a team and have a movement. And it's just a beautiful thing. There's so much power in one. And so I appreciate you bringing that story to the forefront, Moshe.
Ben, if you'll afford me the mic, I've got one unbelievable story to tell you. And it's a great High Lifeline story. So I never shy to tell a good High Lifeline story, but it really is so much more so the power of one. Aside from patting High Lifeline on the back, it's just unbelievable story and impression.
Let's hear it.
And it happened this summer. I was just on the phone speaking to one of our runners, and young woman, actually a Hasidic woman who runs with Team Lifeline. And I said to her, I am kind of curious to know, like, how did this Hasidic woman end up, part of Team Lifeline? Like, how did you get involved? Like, why are you running with us? And this woman, her name is Yiddish Biderman. I can share this story publicly because she's posted on social media. I asked her to because it's such a powerful story. And I said, Yiddish, how did you get involved? Like, why? Like, what drew to Team Lifeline to do this? And she tells me this woman is 32 years old this summer when I had the conversation with her. This woman is 32 years old. And she tells me when I was 18 years ago, I was 14 years old. We lived in Canada, and my mother was diagnosed with cancer. And the entire family moved to New York for treatment, for her mom to be treated in New York. Yiddish was 14 years old and the oldest daughter of 6. And like what we talked about, a family being turned upside down, this mom was just focused on battling her illness and going through treatment. And this young girl, 14 years old, pretty much steps in and becomes the caretaker of this entire family.
Wow. And
Yiddish told me that when the family came to New York and knew nobody, that the family stayed in a residential apartment owned by High Lifeline. Is one of the services that we provide. Like you hear about Ronald McDonald doing things like this. So there are apartments that High Lifeline owns, and Yiddish's family stayed in that apartment. And in addition to staying there, she said she remembers that the organization dropped off hot meals for dinner every night. That was just a tremendous support to her. And she told me 18 years later, she has the gratitude and the recognition for what the organization did, and she wanted to give back. And that's why she's on this team and raises a ton of money for High Lifeline.
Wow.
And as I told you, Ben, it's a great High Lifeline story. I mean, it is amazing to see the impact that this organization has. But the takeaway that I had from that conversation was exactly as you said, of like, the power of one. You never know what impact you or I could have on somebody. Sometimes somebody just needs that smile, or open the door for somebody, or you ask them, hey, how are you doing? And you don't know what was going on with them, and you don't know what their day was like, and you don't know what they needed, and you don't know the impact and the difference you made, and you never will. And the High Lifeline, they never knew what happened to this girl Yiddish, and that she, grew up and then goes and gets involved, until someone tells you a story like that. And it is just the power of, you never know what impact you could have on somebody. And it is sometimes just a simple hello, or a kind gesture, giving someone a smile. And
you never know. I would say to everyone out there, just know that it does matter. You don't know how it's going to matter and how it's going to play out, but it does matter. Good deeds are never wasted. I truly believe that.
That was the takeaway for me on that conversation. You never know what little thing you do for somebody has a huge impact.
Hey, big shout out here. We got Sean Luchins just donated. Good luck from the Brooks running family of athletes. Yes, Sean, definitely, and hook us up with the Brooks running family of athletes too.
Right? Bring it on, brother. I mean, Danny needs a sponsorship deal.
He needs a sneaker deal.
Get this guy some sneakers and some gear.
What's up, Sean? It's good to see you. Sean's a friend of the show.
And Sean, by the way, Ben's going to need it too. So hopefully you can hook Ben up.
I need those Clydesdale kicks, man. I need some horseshoes.
He's gonna need to get hooked up with some good swag and good gear and good shoes. We got to get this guy laced up and on the course.
Oh my gosh! Oh man, you're gonna talk me into something, Moshe. Better not. This has been really inspiring, and I want to close maybe with just a final thought from each of you. Danny, what would you like to leave our viewers with today?
Yeah, Moshe said something in the beginning when you're doing the race and you kind of look around and you see what everyone's doing. Like, that was, to me, like one of the most incredible feelings I ever had, is just seeing so many people together, doing something so difficult for something so incredible. And it just kind of shows you like how amazing just people are. It makes you have faith in people. And it's pretty amazing to see. And this to me is personally, just because of Sophie and my parents, is such an important cause. But you are really impacting people's lives for the better when you donate to something like this. I mean, it's that simple. So anyone who will donate, you will be changing people's lives.
Wow.
That's all I can say.
Thank you, Danny. I appreciate it, and I appreciate you being the catalyst for me also getting involved.
Yeah, sure.
Moshe, you have a final thought you'd like to leave us with?
I think this man said it all. Like it's he spoke really from the heart and really what it's all about. It's I have the same feeling Danny does. For me, it's an honor to be a part of an organization like this, and it's so exciting, and the energy of like being at a weekend that literally hundreds of people are coming to, people like Danny, to say like, this is a cause I'm so passionate about that I had to train and race and raise all this money and travel, and people are so committed. That's the unbelievable thing about somebody like Danny. I mean, he said that event I was at was in the summer in Fair Lawn. So you think about the time and the hours that have gone into him getting pumped up and ready for race day. This doesn't just happen overnight. I mean, this man has really dedicated, put his heart and soul into this. And, months and months of training, tremendous hours of fundraising, and it all culminates with this unbelievable weekend of everybody coming together, and the energy in the room is just through the roof, Ben.
Danny, what's your training regimen been like, Danny?
It's pretty random. There's no, it's nothing. Yeah. There's no, it's not too specific. I just pretty much just go out there and run as far as I can until I'm tired. And that's pretty
much. If you run as far as you can, you ever like get there and be like, oh, how am I getting home?
Sometimes. Yeah. Limping back to this. Yeah, exactly.
Nice. Well, hey, Moshe, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you, buddy. Thank you so much. Really was an honor, and thank you for making this a priority and just opening your heart to this. We really appreciate it.
Yeah, for sure. 100%. Glad to do it. It's an honor to be involved in some little way. And Danny, thank you so much for bringing this to my attention and getting Team Glomo behind it. And I want to say to anyone out there who's thinking about, talent needs or recruiting, we are going to donate 10% of our fees for the month of January to support Team Sophie and Team Lifeline. So if you have a need out there and you want to leverage your business needs to do good in the community, please think of us. And we're glad to help. So thanks, everybody. Thank you, Danny. I appreciate you being here and telling your story, man.
Thanks so much, Ben. Really, such a pleasure. Really, real honor. Thank you very much.
Yeah, awesome. Thanks so much. Take care, everybody, and we will see you next week.